Tiny Mule, you are adorable. I think I might love you. He is so cute. And hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival here in my single player series. I thought we'd start off by getting ourselves a fully stocked stable here just before we had the horse, but now we have a donkey and a tiny little baby mule who is just the sweetest little thing in the world. But will only be like this for about 18 more minutes before he grows up into a full-size adult. But that won't make him any less cute. Well, maybe a little bit, but still, they do need names, of course. So right off the bat of today's episode, drop some name suggestions down in the comments for our donkey, mule, and horse, and we can do that next episode. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We've only just started today's episode where we are hopefully going to be finishing this half of our custom village project that we've been working on the past however many episodes. Really, we've just got this stretch of the land to actually fill in with different buildings and a couple of other ideas that I think we could use to fill in all of the open gaps here, because basically everything from this point forth, if I just fly up here and do a spin around, is basically done. I mean, there might be a few spots here and there which we can do some custom trees and a few bits of foliage just to fill in the open spots, but for the most part, like this here for example, we're very close to being done. And then obviously we've still got this whole half of the village to do, but that won't be started in this episode today. A couple of episodes ago, we built this custom garden here, and a lot of you guys seemed to really like it, and I thank you for all the feedback. It was lovely reading through the comments, as it always is. But there was actually one build I completely forgot to add in. There was one point in the episode where I mentioned how there was a build I wanted to put in around here, but just didn't really have the room for it. It was meant to go over here, and it's going to be a tiny little greenhouse, but like I said, just completely forgot to add it in during the episode. So to start this one off, here is a super speedy time lapse of that tiny greenhouse. As I said, super speedy. Our greenhouse is all done once we put in all of these carrots, just like so. And you can see we've also got a composter in here, so I'm hoping when we get some nitwits moved in, one of them may actually pick that up as their workstation and kind of spend their day working in the greenhouse. I think that could be pretty cool. The next thing we're going to build is actually some animal pens. So the only one we have already in the village, aside from the horses, I'm more talking about cows, sheep, chickens, and pigs. We only have sheep in the shepherd's area over here, which is lacking the sheep. Okay, there are meant to be some sheep in his garden, unless they're in the house itself. No? Okay. Our sheep are obviously parkour masters in disguise and have managed to hop their way out of here. I don't know how they've done that, very impressive, but we'll have to move some more over later on. But yeah, we already got the sheep, so we really just need cows, pigs, and then chickens. So obviously, chickens will make some like chicken coop design, something like that I think could be pretty cool. But for the pigs and the cows, I'm thinking we just come up with a nice little fenced off area just up against our village wall here, just two separate pens, nothing too complicated. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm going to freehand all of this and basically just see what we end up with. 1, 2, and then 3 hay bales, and we are all done with the cow and the pig pen, except from, of course, moving in the cows and the pigs. Now, this is the cow pen, this is the pig pen. I'll talk more about them specifically, but do cows eat hay? I know horses do, and I think cows probably can because they really just eat grass, right? If they're just living out in a paddock or a field, and hay is just dry grass, so I think it's okay to put hay there. I have in my big free-range animal barn nearer by my base. I've got hay in a lot of them, I think, even if it doesn't particularly make sense. But yeah, this is actually what we've ended up with, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So, as I said, I wanted to keep it pretty simple, but just do more than just having a fence around like so, and I've added in this kind of multi-level system where the pig is multi-level system makes it sound a lot more complicated than it actually is. No, it's just built on 2 Y levels. So the pig is slightly higher than the cows, and we've got this kind of barrier in the middle. I don't really know why it would be there, but I think it just looks kind of cool and makes it simply a bit more interesting. So starting off with the pig pen over here, we just have some very muddy floor. We got a little like mud pile in the center for them to frolic around in, and then this is their feeding station. I've just filled a bunch of composters up, not all the way with this one because maybe that's just been eaten out of, and then we got their water trough over here. Super simple, right? And then over with the cows, we have their water trough again, which is slightly bigger. I feel like cows would maybe drink a little bit more. Genuinely no idea. I'm not a farmer or a rancher. I have no bearing on what cows and pigs eat and drink. But yeah, I put a bit of a bigger one in there. Don't want to do that, otherwise it'll all flow out, I think. Kind of want to find out. It doesn't. Okay, good to know. Yeah, we have the hay, like I said, a little bit less muddied of an area, and I've put a few more grass pieces in here as that's what they're primarily going to be eating alongside their hay. And then over here, I'm thinking is a little pail and what's it called that you sit on? I guess just pail and stool that you milk the cow from. I know it's a little bit big, but it's the best I could do. I don't know. I just wanted something here to go in the center to kind of fill up the area. But yeah, that right there is the pig pen and the cow pen all done. I think what we're going to do real quick is actually head back over to my base just there and grab 2 sheep, 2 pigs and 2 cows. I've got a bit of a situation here. My sheep and cow are stuck on this bridge and I don't know why. I can't pull them with the lead. They don't even want to follow the wheat. This guy's having no trouble. He's doing a great job. You can even have this, buddy. Oh, now you can have it and now you can be reattached. These 3, however, not doing so well. So if you don't sort your act out in about 30 seconds, sheep and cow, you're going to be getting a sword to the face. I'm sorry to say, but I don't have all day just to... Oh, have I freed you? Oh, okay, sorry, I seem to have threatened your life for no reason. I take it back. Oh, now the other cows have got stuck. Just get out of there and we won't take the bridge. We'll go in the water. There's pigs on top of this hill, by the way, hence why I don't have them with me right now. I feel like Noah Ark himself if he was starting a farm. Noah Barn is what I would be called. Anyway, we have all of our animals here. I've just realized I've got past the sheep pasture. A pasture is a bit of a over exaggeration. It's nowhere near that big. Little area where the sheep stay. I've gone past it, so we'll have to return with them. Come on, sheepy. What are you stuck on now? There we go. Okay, awesome. All right, time to deposit the pigs and the cows. This is gonna be messy. Excuse me, sir. This is my bed. I would appreciate it if you would let me sleep in it instead of trying to steal it from me. I'm trying to keep you safe, villager. And straight back in. He's having a lion this morning. Okay, so as you can see, the cows are having a simply fantastic time. Are you going to be able to get out there? Oh, I dropped a lead. Thank you very much. I don't think so because I can't walk over, so I'm pretty sure that's a safe way of telling that the cow can't, because obviously they can't jump like this, right? I know he's jumping right now, but that's not the same. So I think the cow should be good. I don't think there's any way the pigs are going to get out. The only thing that I got to keep an eye on is the sheep, apparently, because as I said, they're parkour masters. They can jump out of here somehow, and I was having a look around earlier, and I just couldn't really figure out how they did it. So maybe while we record this episode, I'll keep checking up on these guys and see how they're actually doing it. I thought he was going to escape right there. Enough dragging animals around, let's get back to some building, which I think the next thing we're going to do is going to be the rancher's house. Not the farmer's house, this is what the windmill is meant to be. All of the farmers technically... Hello, Iron Golem! Hang on a second, I've been distracted. I'm guessing you have spawned up here because there is no way, unless you are just filled with black magic, that you would have been able to climb that ladder. So you must have spawned up here. That's kind of funny, actually. This is a really good spot. You can stay here. He doesn't do a great job at guarding the village, but that's okay. Looks cool. So yeah, as I was saying, this is the farmer's house. All of the farmers technically live inside of this building / iron farm, apparently. But we don't really have a rancher home, and I think that makes more sense having it next to the pigs and the cows. So gonna build some sort of small home here that maybe slightly resembles something a rancher would live in. And then I think maybe in this little open spot here is where we can build that chicken coop I mentioned. So the house is done, and we'll check it out in just 1 second, but before we do, we have another escapee that we need to take care of, and I've actually figured out how the sheep are managing to get out of here. I probably sat here for, I'm not kidding, like 3 minutes thinking of ways that they could possibly do it. I was thinking maybe they were somehow getting on the trapdoor here, or possibly sneaking out of the front entrance, which they couldn't because they'd need to have opposable thumbs and open the trapdoors. That's not going to happen. I thought maybe over here, but no need to jump. Can you see it? It's on the screen right now. That trapdoor. That's how they're doing it. They're just hopping on this plant pot and walking on out. So we are going to have to replace that with signs. Just for right now, I'm going to break them so we don't get any more escapees. Grab some wheat and go after whatever that sheep was. Excuse me, sir. Come with me. There we go. Your friend can have the food because he wasn't trying to escape. Well, he probably was, but he was unsuccessful. So there we go. We figured out the problem. Okay, now shall we talk about the house? Right after I place these signs on our grass block, otherwise I will forget and it will remain signless and trapdoorless for all of eternity, which we don't really want, of course. So now we're ready to talk about the house, and this is actually a little bit inspired from a house that's in a video game. Any guesses? Probably no correct ones because it honestly doesn't look anything like it, but it's meant to be a bit inspired from John Marston's house from Red Dead Redemption. Now, obviously, it's a whole different, block palette. If it was to be copied over identically, it would like all be oak, and that just wouldn't look very nice. So I've added in my own personal style block palette. I've also shrunk it down a whole lot. The John Marston's house is a whole lot bigger. This is like a tiny version of it, and I've also gotten rid of a few bits here and there that I didn't really want to add in. But basically, it's got kind of like the same roof shape. It's got that chimney, and it's got the deck, and that's about it. It's actually nothing like it, but that's where I was getting the inspiration from. So yeah, this is what the house looks like. I'll just do a quick ring around because you didn't really get to see the back side and the left hand side over there, or the right hand side depending on which way you're facing it at. And we do have 2 entrances, the one on the side and the one on the right. Don't think that's the thing in John's house, but it's what I've done anyway. So this is the inside, super simple. We just got a nice little fireplace, some shelves and drawers here, or drawers, not shelves, with my loom texture, just like that, with the little handle there on the door. And yeah, that's all that's really going on here. It's pretty simple, but I think it's quite nice. I actually really quite like it. And I haven't done anything with the chicken coop just yet, because I was debating on whether or not I should do my design, which is this one right here over at my free range animal barn, or if I should do a design I saw on Pinterest a little while ago, which is this one right here. And it's such a simple little design and is actually somewhat functional. It's got a hopper system down below, so you can actually collect some eggs in here if you're lucky. We've got the I guess these would be called, I don't know what these are called. The word is escaping my mind. Nest. There we go. The chicken nest where they actually lay the eggs. And what I might do, I think it's actually in the picture I was looking at, but they got an item frame and kind of put an egg inside there. I might actually go try that. I do have to put a covering on here because I do want to actually get some chickens inside of this thing that hopefully they might go in from time to time, or they'll just wander about the little area that I'm going to give them. But the link to where I found this is going to be down in the description below. Hopefully it's the right creator and not someone stealing their design, but I'm sure it probably is the actual person who made this. There we go, we have some eggs in our nest, and I actually tried making the item frame invisible using this statues book data pack thing all the way at the end here, but it actually doesn't work and you can't see the egg through the coral, which is strange. But yeah, we gotta have the item frame on show, but it's okay because it's like mostly hidden and we're not really going to be stepping inside there because of course it's going to have a roof, and I think that's perfectly fine. And we've also got our little fenced off area around. All that is left to do is actually add a bit more on the back here. I've just realized, do I have some fences somewhere? I chucked a bunch in this barrel. Oh, 3, the perfect amount. Look at that. I love when that happens. Okay, so if we just go 1, 2, 3 across the back, our chickens, I don't think should be able to get out. I have so many eggs from making an egg farm at one time in this world, for whatever reason that was. It would be helpful if I actually threw them inside the pen here. Okay, all I want is 2. That's it. No more, no less. Just 2 is fine. 3 will do though. So if one of them escapes, like you can actually, you don't need to be in there. I feel bad excluding him. That was your chance at freedom, and You scuppered it, chicken. You're going to be in there for the rest of your life now, if I built this correctly. So there we go. Chicken pen, all done. That's pretty cool. I might just chuck these other 6 in. Maybe we can get an even number of 4. Hopefully no more. Wonderful. Okay, that will do. Really happy with the little ranch corner we have in this small section of the village. Very happy with how it turned out. And now we're ready to get on with some other building. And I think we need to do something about filling up this gap here. And I'm thinking what we do is just build 2 ordinary looking houses like we have with a lot of these. If we just take a walk through, I kind of just build these freehand on the fly, make it up as I go. A lot of them are on a diagonal of some kind and they're kind of weird and funky, especially some of the roofs, for example. This one right here is a prime example of that. It's a strange one for sure, but it works. So yeah, I'm probably just going to build 2, possibly 3, depending on the size of them, just to fill up this open spot of grass. These 2 houses, as you can see, are now all built up, and I'm really happy with how they turned out, actually. So much so, I built a 3rd one underneath where I'm standing right now. Not really, there was just this open spot next to the river that I really felt like needed something a bit larger, so I went ahead and built a 3rd house. So let me just show you guys these in case you want to see them a bit closer up. And it's actually the next day now because I always forget how long these things take to make. It took probably about 3 hours, I would say, to do them inside and out fully, and it was too late to record, so yeah, might have a little bit of morning voice here, but that's okay. And yeah, as I said, these are just freehand. I don't really put too much thought into what I'm doing as I build them. I make it up as I go along. And I really do enjoy doing it because usually I plan my builds very monotonously and rigorously, making sure everything is just the way I want it to be. These, just whatever works. A lot of them are, as I said, on a diagonal or a little bit funky looking, but I think that just adds charm to the build. So yeah, we got these 3 houses all built up, and I've also connected the roads to all of the front doors. I've also done the interiors of them as well, as I said, so let's just go in and take a quick look. I've just noticed those trapdoors shouldn't be there. I was testing something out. But yeah, all of these are pretty much the same. I just add in pieces of decoration here or there to make them look interesting and lived in, right? Or living in, I guess. This one does have a staircase at the top of the tower. You do have to shift to actually get up there, otherwise you get stuck. But yeah, something super simple. And then we'll just go check out this one over here, which is actually on 2 Y levels. Really quite like how these always turn out when I have to do something a bit different with the floor. And I'll just show you all the decorations, maybe give you some ideas of your own. And then the final one here has the most beautiful floor I have ever built. Are you ready for this? Amazing, right? Just stunning. Birch logs. Who would have thought to use them on the floor? I'm joking, of course. This looks hideous. I just wanted to see what you guys would think. It's not actually that bad, but yeah, I want to strip them because the birch log, I haven't quite figured out how to use this in a build. Some people are really good at it. Me, not so much. I prefer the stripped variant much more. But yeah, this is the final home. We got the chimney connecting to the one, well, the bottom of the chimney connecting to the one that's actually on the roof. And yeah, just a couple of bookshelves, furnaces, a bed, that sort of thing, which is in basically every single smaller home in this village. So now what we have to do is go around to all of the open spots left on this half of the village and fill them up with something. So I've had a look around here and I think we have 3. Now the first one is kind of this large stretch. If I just land back where I was walking across, probably didn't need to do that whole loop around, but we have this big stretch here going all the way from our final house here just along the windmill and crop farm over to that grave there. Now I'm thinking where we have this sand, I'm going to build one of these docking stations that I've got built up on this side, just something super simple, and then the rest can probably just be bone milled and custom trees and that sort of thing. But at the end here, as I said, we have a grave which actually belongs to Clank, who is a dead iron golem, sadly. He died heroically right at the very start of this village. And this is where his grave is, and I don't really want to get rid of it, so I think what I'm going to do is just make it look a bit better and more grand, and probably just put a bunch of flowers here and just generally try and make the area look a bit nicer than what it is right now, which is just grass, so I don't think that should be very hard. The next spot is in this little gap right here, which is actually sort of a back garden to all of these 3 houses. These 3 spruce doors, you can see, is actually just the back door to all of them, so not the front door, hence why we don't have a pathway leading to it. So I think we just kind of make this like a group garden area, maybe build a well, a couple of seats, that sort of thing. We don't really have that large of an area to work with, but big enough where I feel like we have to build something at least. The final one is this area right here that I mentioned earlier on in the video, just behind the leatherworker and Fletcher's house, and it's pretty large and definitely needs something built here. Trouble is, I don't know what specifically to build. I'm thinking if nothing comes to mind, I might just do like a small pond at the bottom here with possibly a miniature water kind of cascading down those 3 blocks. Hopefully something more spectacular, maybe not spectacular but interesting comes to mind, because that's a pretty basic build. But yeah, that's my fallback plan if I can't think of anything. But anyway, it's very late here, mobs are about to start spawning. I'm gonna go to bed and then transform those 3 areas. We are currently soldiering on through this torrential rain and thunderstorm and lightning in hopes of getting a glimpse. There she is, at the wild jellycat. What a beautiful and magnificent creature as she roams around the tall grass. Maybe we can get close to her here. Oh, I touched her. I pet her on the head. She's a good girl. So, we have finished these 3 areas, and maybe I should sleep first of all before I show you this, because it's going to get really loud and really rainy. Sleeping has been done, the sun is out, and I'm ready to show you guys what I've done, because some of them may need explaining, like this one here. Actually, this is probably the only one that needs explaining. So, I kind of like the pool idea. We actually have a waterfall starting outside of the village, and then it goes under the wall, as you can see here, and comes out this other side to fill up the pond. But what's going on here might not be so obvious. So I had an idea as to maybe make a playground, and I don't really know if that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, this doesn't make any more sense, but I wanted to kind of combine a place for children to play and the pond. So what we have here is like an old-fashioned swimming pool. These are meant to be diving boards, and these are meant to be pool floaties. Obviously, this is like an old-fashioned village. They're not going to have the modern-day luxuries of a nice-looking swimming pool with nice diving boards. Everything's going to be wooden. So that's what I've kind of got here. I think it looks okay. We're just going to skip through that one because it's not my favorite of the transformations that we did. The next one is over here in this little gap, and as you can see, I added in a couple of walls to kind of barricade off the other areas. I just felt like I needed to do something here to make it a bit different than just having a table and chairs in the middle, which is what we've got. And then another one of these miniature wells, which we also have just over there in the village. And I think this design I actually first saw from Fwip, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong there, but I'm fairly certain that's where I got the idea from. Super cute, super adorable, tiny little well design. And then the final one, of course, is over here. So we just have another one of our like docking stations, which is the same as the other two, so don't need to spend too long looking at that. And the final one here is Clank's grave upgrade, which is a lot bigger and better than it was before. He has tons more flowers, a bit of an elevated grave here, and more than just a couple of blocks. In fact, it was a single one before that. A cobblestone stair was all he had in the coarse dirt. And we've even got an invisible poppy, or invisible item frame that has a poppy inside laid upon his coarse dirt here. So yeah, that's all the changes that I've made. And really, the final thing left to do before we can call this half of the village done is all of the landscaping and the custom trees and any other pathways I want to add in, and put in loads of bone meal down, a couple of lampposts I might add in here or there, and just the smaller things like that to make this place look more complete. You couldn't see a whole lot in that time lapse, could you? Let's be honest here. But if you were to slow down that 5 to 10 second clip into the hour or whatever it took me to build everything, you would have actually seen progress being made of basically everything I said I was gonna do. and I'm at a point now where I'm happy to call this half of the village all done. Now, it's not really done because nothing ever is in Minecraft. There's always stuff that can be added on or changed or mixed up, so I'm sure there will be things that I do on this side of the village, whether it's small little details or change up a build entirely. I'm willing to bet I will place a block over here again, but for the most part, we are done. If I had to suddenly stop working on this half, I would be happy with how it looks. The only thing I'm thinking might need something is this stretch along here leading to Clank's grave. It just feels a little bit empty, but there's not a whole lot of room for some buildings, so any ideas, please let me know in the comments of what we could build. Maybe utilize this speech somehow, do something with this. But next episode, or maybe the one after, might take a little bit of a break from the village here, but we'll be starting work on all of that land over there, which I think, if I remember the plan, was mostly going to consist of stuff for visitors of the village. I think the whole idea was that on this half of the river, the bit that we've already complete, was for like the residents of the village, people actually living here, and then this half was for travelers who would come in to visit, so shops and inns and that sort of thing is going to consist over here. We've already got the marketplace and the meeting / town hall, so yeah, exciting stuff, and this is awesome. I cannot wait until the whole place is done because I've already spent a good like 5-10 minutes just walking around, as I always do. I really am happy with how this village is turning out, and I hope you guys are too, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.